Hey everybody, welcome in. Please give us a 5 by 5 in the chat if you can hear me. We'll start off with me on the audio and then we'll jump over to make sure we're good on audio with Mr. Humble Stacker there. Welcome everybody to the first and only for this so far, the Broke and Humble Show. I hope you guys are hearing me loud and clear, giving the wave. Apparently, yeah, this is mirrored. This is so weird. So this is my right hand, and I'm seeing it on my left on my screen, and there's my left. But it's probably coming through normal on you guys' end. It's kind of cool. It's interesting. I haven't been on StreamYard in so long, I almost forgot how. I think I see the live chat there. Who we got in the chat here? It looks like we have Mr. Jerry Parker, 3D Woodworks. Welcome in. Good to see you. Anybody else there in the live chat? If you could just put in a 5 by 5, let me know. If we're coming through loud and clear, that would be much appreciated. Again, we have some technical difficulties tonight. It might be on my end because I haven't done StreamYard in a while. It's kind of a last second change, but we're working through it. It's all good. Jeff Rubin, thank you for the support there. Humble, are you there loud and clear? Can we hear you?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear. Sounds like everybody can hear us there. Very good. Yeah, guys. So a very exciting day today. We've been trying to put this together for at least a couple months now, maybe longer. The Broken Humble Show. Yes, as you can see, we're it's finally come to fruition. My schedule makes it incredibly difficult to get a hold of me. I apologize for that, Humble. But yeah, we
All right.
we finally got to do it, man. It's the Broken Humble Show. Booyah!
Yeah, man. Broken Humble Show. I'm completely down. Um, yeah, you guys, welcome all in. I'm glad you're all here. Yeah, we're just gonna be a couple of guys talking about metals like we always do, and I'm sure Broke's got some stuff he wants to go over, and I'm just gonna be a good co-host and see how this thing launches off. I appreciate everybody for being here.
Awesome. Good to see everybody. I'm going to address the chat really quick. We have Goomba Gary's in the house. We have Donna McCoy. Welcome in. We got Hi Broke. Hi Todd. Very cool. Very cool. Mr. Jerry Parker, Jeff Rubin, 3D Woodworks, and I'm going back farther in the chat, but that's all the ones there. We got Cat73 stopped in at one point or another. I don't know if she's still here. Throw something in the light there, Cat, in the chat there, Cat, if you're still here. Obviously humble there. Very cool. Welcome in everybody. So tonight we're going to go over a few things that are going on right now, and just where we've been in the past, kind of an introduction to the Broke and Humble Show, and why we are broke and humble. And I'll lead the way here, Humble, with why I chose the title Broke Stacker. And that was many years ago, but I'll see if I can do it shooting from the hip here. So, from the very beginning, I guess I have to go very back, clear back to when I first started stacking metals and when I made the cognitive decision to start stacking some metals and put a little bit in my hand. I was on the road working, and I was very fortunate enough to be able to stay with a friend out of town. He actually was living in that area, about 10 miles from the work site I was going to. It was a pipeline job, and very good friend of mine. He let me stay there pretty much for free, but I kicked him a lot of money down, so it's all good. That was like, dude, I'm going to pay you or the hotel.
Yeah.
And in those days, I was sitting in that room pretty much by myself for like 8 hours at a time, trying to get some sleep. But there's a couple hours here and there where actually I had time to sit back, think, and ponder to myself. I'm like, man, I'm always on the road. I'm always working, and I'm always broke. Why is that? Why am I always broke? And it got me thinking. I went down the long rabbit hole of YouTube. Like, what can I do to change this? Because I'm not one to bitch and moan. Like, I didn't like where I originally lived. I'm originally a Californian. My wife I met, she's from Idaho originally, and she talked me to get the hell out of there. So instead of like bitching and moaning about stuff I couldn't fix, I said, you know what, I'm going to fix the things I can. Like move out of California, not get taxed to death. And that was many, many, many years ago. But anyways, just like that, I decided, you know what, I got to take the bull by the horns here. I have to make a change. I am tired of being broke. all the time. And I'm like, and I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to be broke all the time, how can I turn this into an advantage? And how do I fill my basically fill my pockets but keep my wallet empty? Because my wallet's going to be empty anyways. So why might as well fill my pockets and set up for the future. There was another aspect to it too. At the time, the pension was in jeopardy through the place I'm at right now, and I was like, man, I got to think outside the box as a secondary pension. And I started looking into silver and the metals and all that, and it just really came together. I was like, man, this makes way too much sense. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm gonna get online somewhere, do an online bullion donor. Like I saw a few. I think some of the few first channels that I saw were Salivate Metals, and I think even Yankee. Saw a couple of his videos. I saw a bunch of different stacking videos, like so many I couldn't even count now. But now I'm on the really good ones now. I hope
Right.
we're a very tight niche community here. There's some less than scrupulous individuals out there, like the silver pumpers. Oh, silver's going to go to $10,000. It's going to be twice as much as gold. Like, no, no. Let's hit the brakes on that. Let's keep it reasonable here. And I did my homework. So, silver was what 16 to 1 for like 400 years. I was like, well, if that ever goes back that way, that's a good proposition
Yes.
for silver. So I was like, yeah, screw it. I'm going to go with a little bit of silver. Not going to do gold. So I went into silver first. Got my first order in through JM Bullion. Not super proud about that, but I was like, you know what? I talked to several people and they told me, yeah, that's a good solid one. You don't have to worry about getting any counterfeits or anything like that. So I did that. I got some silver in my hand, and I tell you what, after doing that, I never looked back. I was like, yeah, this is the way. This is the way. This feels right. This is what I'm going to do going forward. I got to do some dollar cost averaging, just get as much as I can possibly get my hands on, and throw it into basically my makeshift retirement account. And just get ready for the future because there's going to be a day I can't rely on my back to make me a dollar.
Yeah. 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 That's a great story, actually, and a great reason to start stacking. To be honest with you, I for me, are you done?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think I rambled on, ran it off there long enough. I can
No,
probably
no.
throw a few more details in there too, but no, essentially that's how I got started with stacking. And one day it just kind of came together. It was like, you know what, broke stacker. I'm always broke. I'm stacking. Why not? That just makes too much sense, right?
I
So
know.
that and then it just kind of came to me one day, and I checked to see if the name was taken, and it wasn't. So I locked it in, and I've been the broke stacker ever since.
Nice, nice. So, so for me, um, actually, the way I came up with my name is I think I already told you this once, but I might as well tell chat too. Is I was looking for names because I don't have much, so what I can add to my stack is what I was adding, what I'd be able to add to my savings. And if I ever put money in my savings account, I would always find a reason to spend it. So, this being my third time around, I've started a stack three different times. Um, the
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough when you have to give up any bit. Like it's like warfare. You take every inch that you earn on the battlefield. It is hard earned, and it's hard
Yes,
to
and
give
I'm
that up.
talking I'm talking complete liquidation, right? Now, the second time wasn't as hard of a hit as the first time, and I'll explain why. The second time, I was a banker, right? And I was also, so I worked for a bank called U.S. Bank, and inside of a store, you're also the teller and the banker. So people would come in all the time, and they would be giving up coins. I got three rolls of 64 Kennedys at face value because
Wow.
the bank only pays you face value for them.
Right.
And even I tried to encourage them, hey, this is worth more than what you're giving me, and they're like, no, I just need to deposit it. I don't really care. Just get rid of it. And I was like, swoop. You know, I
No
got
questions
Kennedys.
asked. Right.
Yeah, I got Kennedys at 50 cents a piece.
Yeah,
Three
yeah.
full
Can't
rolls,
shake a stick at that, right?
right? And so,
Ultimate coin roll hunting right there.
yeah, and I found full size Morgans being turned in for face value, and I started taking the silver out of the money I was getting and replacing it with actual cash, and just started stacking that way on my second time around. This time around is a lot different for me. Uh, I have a much better paying job, so I'm able to stack more towards what I'm trying to do. And of course, this time around, I started with Constitutional. It was the best buy at the time, and I'll be honest with you, it's still the best buy right now if you're going to be
It
buying.
sure is. It sure is.
It's absolutely the best buy to be doing right now. And it doesn't matter if it's dimes, quarters, or 50-cent pieces. It doesn't matter. Just stack it if you can, you know.
Absolutely.
But the name. See, my daughter, I was panning for gold, and she was watching me watch Klesh, and who is a YouTube gold panner, and he sells pay dirts.
Hmm.
She was watching me watch him, and she's like, you should pan pay dirt and do it on YouTube like him. And so she talked to me for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to start a YouTube channel, it's going to be about something that I'm passionate about. And so at that point, I had about 10 to 15 ounces of silver and constitutional built up. And so I said, maybe I should start doing something about stacking. And so there it was. Now coming up with the name. The name. I was looking, and I don't have any money, so I'm broke. So my first YouTube search was for the broke stacker, and your name came up, and I was mad. And I couldn't piggyback off of that, and so I just started thinking about it for a minute, and I'm like, calm down, Todd. It's not a big deal. Somebody else had the idea before you. Be humble, and humble. I'm like, really humble. Shit, I'll just call myself the humble stacker, and
Nice.
there it was.
Awesome, man. That is an awesome story. Yeah, I wish I could pan for some gold here and there. I just don't have any freaking time. Like, I've had 3-4 days off in a row, and I haven't had a moment to spare yet, other than eating a meal with my wife here and there. But
No, I
man,
get it.
I tell you what, if I could, I totally would go panning again. I haven't been panning since I was probably about 20 years old, honestly. And I tell you what, I didn't know my butt from a hole in the ground because I didn't come up with a flake. So I don't know if it
Oh,
had been sifted through or I just wasn't doing the prospecting right. Probably back then I wasn't doing the prospecting right because it wasn't until after that I read a book. Was it Bread and Beans or Bacon and Beans from the Gold Pan, and that'll give you some insights on prospecting for your gold, so you don't have the fruits of your labor aimlessly just going out there, and you don't get any fruits for your labor, I should say. So it really that book I recommend anybody that's trying to prospect, dig, mine, pan for gold. That's a great book to read. Bread, what is it? Beans and Bacon from the Bread Pan, or Beans and Bacon from the Gold Pan. I'm sorry.
nice.
Really, really great book.
I'll look it up. Because I'm sure there's an audio version of it. I do a
I
lot.
hope so.
I do a lot of driving, and it's easy for me to listen to books be read to me because books are way
You got
better
that.
than the movies.
Yeah, you got that time on the road. You're either doing audiobooks, you're doing podcasts, just anything to learn, man. I am like so thirsty for knowledge. I'm always doing, usually like podcasts, audiobooks, anything like that. That's just my bread and butter and my go-to. So,
I
yeah, I recommend that for anybody and anybody that's like trying to like get financially literate. One thing that really got me started too was what was the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That one really just opened my eyes up on how to look differently at money and start looking at finances at a different light. And I recommend anybody, if you haven't read the book, at least do the audio book. I mean, if you got any kind of commute, just put your headphones in and listen. That's all you got to do.
just
It's
read
up
the
to you to.
synopsis. Read the
You took
synopsis on it, and you will get hooked because it's that. I mean, if you think about it, and it's catchy. It really is. So you just really, I know what book you're talking about. So you really do, if you are interested, definitely a good book to read. That is for sure.
exactly.
But
And
I'm right there with you. I listen to NPR a lot, which gives me a lot of world news. I listen to a lot of talk radio. I listen to a lot of money talk radio. So I hear about
nice.
what some stocks are doing, what some bonds are doing. What other people are having other people invest in. Now, keep in mind, everybody's in a different position. When it comes to all that stuff. So,
Mhm.
make sure that you're getting the sound advice that you should be getting from your financial advisor, because we are not. We're just a couple of
Right.
just a couple of guys talking. But yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, yeah. It's just like you said, we're no professionals by any means. I'm personally just kind of self-educated in the realm of finances, but I am in no way, shape, or form a financial advisor. I can just tell you what it's been working for me, and well, that's all I can do. Like I live broke. If I have money in my wallet, it, like you said, it goes out a lot easier than it comes in. You
for
keep
sure.
that, if you keep it out of your wallet and just keep your pockets full, it's a lot easier.
Oh yeah, no, I understand completely. I'm a horrible saver. I really am. If it's in my savings account, I'll find a reason to spend it. You know,
Right?
So putting it into money into metals for starts was an easy way to get my fix on buying something, because that's what I would always do, is find a way to buy something. So got my fix on buying something, and it just converted my money into something that I was already doing and passionate about anyways.
Nice.
You know, if you
Not frivolously spending, but building an empire, if you will.
yeah, yeah, and you know, my hardest time this time around was, and the thing that I've done different was, this time I had stacking goals. I've written down goals that I was going to do. I was very, very diligent this time around, and strict. I've given up a lot to build my stack. I really
It's
have.
hard to It is hard. Discipline is the hardest part, but not having it in your wallet is an easy fix to that.
Yes, yes, completely. But finding your metals for the cheapest price. And definitely constitutional being that. Now, of course, you're going to see stuff like this for me, but honestly, I can get this for $1 over spot, and anybody in their right mind would buy that. $1 over spot eagle, why not?
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, most of these eagles you see out here on the table, these were purchased either spot or $2 over spot. Every single one of these. So
Yeah,
unless I get that spot deal or just over spot, I don't even look at the eagles. So I'm not paying $5, $10 over spot for an eagle, especially secondhand.
oh yeah, all the eagles I have in here, they're all part of the bargain bin at the LCS. I don't
Yeah, my,
need, in my tube, I don't need anything special. It's an ounce, it's an eagle, and it's easy identified.
exactly. The advantage of the Eagles, whether they're BU, AU, or just beat to shit, they're highly identifiable, and because of that, they're also highly liquid. So yes, you can save them, and yes, you can spend them if you need to. So that's the advantage of Eagles, and they're tax exempt.
Yes, and they typically don't have the same milking problem that other 1 ounce sovereign coins do, like the maple or even the Britannia. In a lot of cases, you know, they don't have the same milk. They will milk, but they don't have the same. They're not as prone to it.
Absolutely.
But then after a certain period, Canada changed it with their new process, right? Um,
Oh yeah, the Mint Shield technology. I think they introduced that in 2018 for the maple
yeah,
leaves.
yeah. So anything prior 2018 had a huge milking problem, right? So and that's just to protect the
Absolutely.
layer. I like that shielding. I mean, honestly, if every country did that type of technology on their coins, that would be even cooler.
Exactly, but I get why. Canada is not sharing that trade secret because if everybody did it, could they justify the premium on their maple leaves? Maybe not. So I see why they're holding that trade secret there, which is good for them. But man, what about everybody else? You know?
Okay, share some of the love. Hey,
Right.
I want to talk about because you were talking about mining gold, right? So placer gold is typically what you would mine for,
Right.
right? Flakes like this,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Or small little nuggets like this,
Oh yeah. That's a nice nugget right there.
right? So I grew up in Sunny Valley, Oregon, just a little hole in the wall in a valley in between a couple of different mountains. And I grew up on the main vein road of this town, and it was called Placer Road.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, growing up on Placer Road, not knowing what Placer actually, the Placer Road's name was called Placer Road for a reason because there was a placer mine at the top of the hill that my friend, his mom's boyfriend lived on. And it was way up in the top of the hill, no power. So it was all gas, oil, wood stove heated, all that stuff, right?
Nice. Off
Uh,
grid.
yeah, so we were wandering around out back, and there was a conveyor belt coming out of a hole in the ground. Didn't think anything of it. This guy mined and lived off of the placer gold that he mined out of the mine off of Placer Road. And growing up, I had no idea. Now, as an adult, mining for placer gold, I put it all together. My dad sold the property we lived on down there. So there was a chance that there was gold in them hills, and I lived
Oh,
next to it
absolutely.
and couldn't go get it. That's just
Man, yeah, that makes you think back like, man, and I would have just dug a few more holes screwing around in the dirt as a kid, right?
yes, yeah. That was just crazy. That if I would have just messed around a little bit, and walking into the county fair, they had a big old huge tub, and they sold like pans of pay dirt with gold in it. But I mean, think about it. Gold was $350 an ounce at the time,
Right.
right? So they put like you know 0.15 worth of gold in a pan and charge you $10 for a pan, and so they're making money because you're not getting all the gold anyway because you don't know how to pan.
Right.
So what little bit of gold you get is like half of what was in there because the rest of it fell to the bottom because you don't know how to pan. So you're getting a fraction of the gold. You pay $10 for it. You're happy because you got a vial with gold in it, and they were just making money hand over fist at the fair, doing that very thing.
Yeah, I've seen similar things at some like tourist traps. I'm going to stop you for just a second and address the chat here. Caterpillar Silver just dropped in on us. Welcome in, Caterpillar. 3D Woodworks, thank you for the awesome comments there.
Rock.
Uh, Donna McCaw, the Avocado Stackers in there, Donna McCoy. Thank you guys so much for being here. Rockamos, good to see you, buddy. See here. I just want to make sure I'm not leaving anybody else out. Jerry Parker, nice to see you. David, David Carzile, welcome in. Let's take a look. I don't think I've missed you guys in the chat. I apologize. I'm trying to
Raz
follow
Bobo,
with.
Raz Bobo's here, right?
Heck yeah.
You. Hey, you guys, I appreciate you all for being here and just listening to us talk. And thanks for giving me the chance to tell you my, like Avocado said, my origin story, because that kind of, I've never actually told that story in its entirety. So thanks for
Nice.
giving me that opportunity.
Awesome. Anytime, brother. Anytime. It's a fantastic story too. Also, let me take a look here on my notes. I had some key points I wanted to touch on. Um, I got a lot of different things, a lot of things there. So let's go to for stacking purposes for everybody here that's new, new and seasoned and everything else. What are some of the resources you use to stack, and why do you go that way?
For me, I've developed a pretty good relationship with an LCS. And he really only charged. I mean, anytime I go in and buy anything from him, I bought a 10-ounce bar from him. It was spot was 36.50. So it would have been $365. He charged me 370. So and that's what 50 cents, 50 cents on the ounce. He's a
Oh,
really
that's
good guy.
really low premium. Really low premium, if anything at all. He's pretty much breaking even on it, if that.
Yeah, I called him one day, said I wanted to buy 30, 40 ounces. He says, okay, give me a day. Called me the next day, said, hey, I got something for you. I showed up. He had a Norman Rockwell four coin or four bullion 5 ounce round set collector piece in this mahogany box that I have here. It's a proof set. He had that set aside for me, a 10-ounce bar, a 5 ounce bar, and five 1 ounce bars. He's like, here's your 40 ounces. It was
Wow.
amazing. He had everything all set up for me. Anytime I need anything, I can go and cherry pick any of his constitutional, take whatever I want. He's just a great guy. And I started off a relationship by going in, buying with him, talking what was going on. And one time, he slipped up. He forgot to charge me for a gram of gold when I was in there buying gold from him. And I paid for it, and then I looked at my receipt and I said, "Hey, I think you shorted yourself." And he's like, "No, it's this." And I said, "No, you forgot the extra gram of gold." And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh man, you are so right. Thank you for being honest." And I think I just solidified our relationship by doing that. So at that point, he's just always taking care of me.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, honesty's the best policy, and that doesn't just go with stacking or anything else. It's just everything. Just live an honest life, and everything else will come easy. So,
Yeah, typically, yeah. You set out there how you're going to be treated. So if you're a kind person and you're humble about everything you do, then you'll always uh, you'll always end up getting taken care of in the long run. And I can tell you that
perfect.
by just by being blessed recently as well. So
Awesome. Speaking of getting blessed just recently, I had a very good friend of mine finally come by my house for the first time. We've been coworkers for years, and well, he stopped by. He was basically traveling to see family, and he's coming through the area. He stopped by my house, and he said "Merry Christmas" to me, and he gifted me this right here. Got a nice 10-ounce Sunshine Mint Buffalo bar. This is a
nice,
10-ounce bar, man. I was like, dude, you don't have to do this. Like, nah, dude. I just want to say thank you for getting me started in stacking, all that stuff. You were right. I'm so glad I listened to you. And he just wanted to give this to me as a thank you. So I had to give him a peace dollar or something. He didn't have a daily carry. I was like, bro, we got to change that. Like for me, I use a peace dollar. This isn't my daily carry, but I'm trying to get used to this screen here. Sorry. I use a peace dollar as my daily carry, and I'll tell you a reason here in just a minute. But I gifted him one of these. I was like, here, dude, Merry Christmas all the way around. Much love. I appreciate you a lot. And he had a boogie because there's somebody was having a baby, so he had to bounce really fast. But other than that, man, I was like, man, just feel the love, feel the giving part of the season here. It's just a fantastic time. And well, this one was under the tree. I don't know why, but it was from Santa. I had to get this one too at the end of the year. So those are the last two pieces I got here recently. This is a 5-ounce coin. This is the only 5-ounce anything I really have other than the stuff I pour. And I just really thought it was fabulous. I am a big fan of angel art, and I just thought it was really fabulous. This is one of what is it, the Saint Helena coin. Thought I'd share that with you guys here. A little eye candy out there for you.
that's amazing. That thing is beautiful. Can you show it again, please? Just a little
Oh,
slower.
absolutely. I apologize. Yeah, I'm struggling with this camera. I'm on the phone. That's
You
why I
can.
don't like StreamYard.
I got you. You can actually flip it. You just have to go to the settings and go to your camera and turn the mirror off. It's just a click of a button.
Okay, I
Um,
wonder why that's the default. The mirror. It's just really throwing me off.
yeah, it's kind of stupid. Once you
You should
change it though, and you use StreamYard again, you won't have to change it again.
through the camera here. I could see it. I think I got a little bit of milk spotting right here, but other than that, this coin is extremely clean. I mean, it's from the Royal Mint. I'd be surprised if it didn't have milk spotting. If
What?
anything, through the Royal Mint, what do they call that? A security feature.
Yeah,
So
security feature. Yeah. What year is that?
I believe it's a 22, or is that? Yep, 2022.
So that's the old queen.
Yeah, this is you're not. If I remember correctly, the Queen passed away in September of 2022. So this would have been the last Saint Helena uh, coin, 5 ounce coin with her depiction on it.
Um,
If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. They might have did it one more year after that, but
yeah, I
this
think
is
my favorite queens on the 98 era ones.
oh nice.
90, 98 era ones. And those are the ones that are most prone for of course, milking. But yeah, no, I just, that's my favorite depiction of the queen. But still, there was like, what, four or five of her throughout her lifetime? She was
Oh,
around
I
for a long time.
was gonna say at least that she was the longest reigning monarch in history. So, well,
Yeah,
in power over what was she like 22, 24, and
yeah,
then she was in power until 70 years old. So that's a long time to be in power.
yeah, yeah. And her kids were finally like, yes, finally. Jeez, you know. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, Prince Edward, he's not doing too good.
Yeah,
He's
I
doing,
don't keep up with the Joneses on them very much. I was a fan of the Queen. I thought she was elegant, and especially in the last few years of her life, there she did right by the world. At least in this part, in this aspect, she brought some beauties to us, right?
yes, yes. That's one of my favorite. I love I honestly, I think our coinage in comparison is a little boring to the world's coinage. We haven't changed things up in a while, and I'm glad they're finally starting to do something. But daily carries, I have a daily carry. This is my daily carry.
Nice. What is that there? I'm trying to focus in. That a trade dollar?
Yeah, this is actually it's a state, tri-state refinery. It's just a 1 ounce round, but I have
Okay.
the and it's toned, right. I love toned silver, right. It's got a lot of rainbowing around here, right. So I'm
Hmm.
looking at it, and I won something the other day when I was over on Whatnot, and I get medals that way too. And I won something. I won this tri-state, right, and I'm looking at it, and it's literally almost the exact same coin. Or
Very, very similar. Spread wings versus closed wings. Yeah.
yeah, but of course the other side's pretty much the same. You know,
Nice.
I didn't even realize it until I pulled them out to show you or to show chat because I was gonna say you buy your rounds, buy rounds. If you can get them for less than spot, buy them for less than spot.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
rounds. If you're gonna buy constitutional, which is probably the better buy, then buy whatever hits your fancy. But keep in mind, for some reason, quarters aren't as popular as dimes and 50-cent pieces. Do you know why that is?
Quarters are not as popular. I don't know why either, but I don't really collect too many quarters, mostly dimes and 50 cent and 50s. And maybe it's the easiness of math or maybe it's a size thing or a divisibility. I'm not sure, but yeah, I do the same thing. I do your 50 cent pieces like your Walking Liberty 50 cent half dollars, and then your Mercury dimes. I'm not so much a fan of the Roosevelt dimes because I'm always afraid I'm going to mix them in with my regular loose change. So I try to steer clear of those. If I'm stacking dimes, it's usually going to be Barbers or the Mercuries. But the premiums on them are going so freaking ridiculous now, and I rarely get a chance to. But right now, what last time I picked up a dollar face of Mercury dimes, it was $4 back a spot. So get the deals while you can. So
Yeah, yeah, get the deals while you can. With spot being what it is, I think my LCS is charging me 50 to 55, right in that range, which is about average. Depending on how much spot is or how much you're paying, for what it was. I caught Kitco at 83.43 and did a short on it, which was the highest that I've seen it in a long, long time. But then it got smacked down into the 70s again.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
72, where we're at?
I'm not complaining. I'm complaining when I'm stacking, but I'm not complaining about my stack.
No, for sure, right? It just limits the amount of metals I can buy because I'm still on a 15-year timeline, before
Nice.
doing anything with them. So, with my goals being as strenuous as they are, it's really going to hurt my finances. So, I'm going to have to back up off of that and not be so overzealous this year with the spot price.
Right, right. Oh, speaking of a pocket, I just dug this out of my pocket. This is my daily carry right here. It's been in my pocket every day for years, and I
Nice.
chose the year 1927 peace dollar because at the time I was under the impression, with the way the pensions and all that worked, I was going to retire in the year 2027. But boy, was I wrong. No, from the trade I'm in now, I'm looking to retire right around 2030. So they don't make a 2030 peace dollar, so I can't grab our 1930 peace dollar, so I can't exactly get that to have as like a little keepsake reminder. Keep going, you're almost there. So that's why I had this here in my pocket for years because I thought that's all I had. I thought that's all I needed was just till 2027. But no, at the end of 2030, then I can get out and be done with this. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a goal. It's always good to set goals, even if they have to be lengthened. You need to set that goal because it gives you something to strive for. You know, um, I believe, and I have a firm belief that the number one killer to retirement is boredom. If you don't
right.
have a reason to get up and do something every single day, then you start to find a reason not to be there. If that makes sense. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh yeah, exactly. And for those of you are about to retire or thinking about retiring, think of whatever is your hobby or whatever you do for fun as a job. Get up and do it for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Have fun with it, but
Give
treat it
yourself
like a job and
purpose.
get that way you get off your ass because you've been off of your ass your whole life, working your whole life. You stop, you drop. Just keep that in mind, everybody. Like when you do retire, it's not about sitting on your ass and watching TV on the couch working 7 days a week. Don't do that. You got to
Yeah,
stay
no.
busy, stay active.
Yes,
Oh,
because boredom, I believe, is the number one killer of retirement. So find a hobby, do something that you've always wanted to do, and invest yourself into it. Because if you don't give yourself that sense of purpose, you will find a reason to not be around. It just, and I hate to say it, but I've seen it happen over and over again when it comes to retired people. I used to work at a
yeah.
bank. I worked at many banks, and when people just take a load off and don't do anything, it really catches up with you.
Oh, yeah. Heck, there's a guy at my work right now, 70-year-old carpenter. I'm like, why are you still here? He's like, oh, I retired 10 years ago, but I came back. I was just too bored at home. I was like, oh my gosh. What a
Hey,
life to aspire to, right?
right? Yeah, you're too bored at home. That's cool though. At least he identified. You know what I mean? And
Exactly. That's better than him melting into the couch and dying. So,
yes, yes, and I hate to say it, but it happens.
oh,
So
speaking of which, I busted out my pocket painter. Wanted to give you one of these right here. I know you like the pings, so
nice, buddy. Nice. I do love the pings. I got my pinger right here, ready to go. It's nothing
nice,
special. It's a small pinger, but it really does the job.
nice.
I
Yeah,
was
we were talking. I know you were doing it the other night on the pings. I tell you what, that's one of my goals for 2026 to get a 1 ounce American Gold Eagle, just so I can ping that sucker.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I am close to the point where if I wanted to, I could. I mean, I have enough fractional to where I could trade up to a large, but I just it just right here anyways. But I don't really want to um, have a really big piece of gold right now. I like my fractional. I promote stacking fractional gold because it's affordable, and I will never be able to save up all of my money in one time in order to afford a full ounce of gold. Now, if I make it a goal throughout a year to buy a 1/10 every month, I can do it. But that's a pretty strenuous goal when it comes to wanting to stack silver as well,
It
especially.
sure is. I'm telling you, man. I told you my stacking goals for 2026 going to be 100 ounces of silver and 1 ounce of gold, whether that be fractional, a full piece, or what. But that's my stacking goals for 2026, and that's my minimum. If I meet and exceed that, so be it. But yeah, that's my minimum as far as it comes to stacking.
And that's solid. I was going to go for 250 silver and 5 gold, like um, very, very um, wild goals this year because I really wanted to stretch myself and see what I could do. But
Mhm.
realistically, thinking about it now, there's no way that I would be able to, I would be homeless in order to afford those metals at the prices they're at right now. So I will have to tone back my goals, and I think I'm going to drop to half and two. So 125 and two is I'm going to strain for, and I think that's accomplishable. Because last year
Nice.
I hit 200 plus in silver and just about
Nailed it.
just about
Nailed it.
yeah. So I was there, but the prices were a lot lower.
Yeah, it was a lot easier just 2 years ago. Hell, just last year when it was still like 20 something dollars an ounce, let's call it 29, $30 an ounce. It was a
Yeah.
lot easier sparing $30 or two $40 bills every once in a while. Now you're coming out four of those puppies right now just to even entertain the idea of 1 ounce. Like, whoa, 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 what just happened? Last
Yeah.
time I ordered an online purchase of silver for $200, I was getting about 8 or 9 ounces. I felt like I was getting ripped off when I was only getting eight. Now you're telling me I'm only going to get three, and it has to be 220, not 200. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Right. It's a bit crazy right now with the price of metals, and that's why, of course, find an LCS, create a relationship, and go in and, in my opinion, in my for myself, is max out on as much constitutional as you can buy. Because just because the refineries aren't buying it doesn't mean it's not worth it what it is. And
Absolutely.
if you're stacking, then you're not turning it right now anyways. So what does it matter if they're not buying right now? It actually just makes it more in our favor, considering the price of the silver as it is. So it makes it more in our favor to stack more metals for cheaper because we're stacking it anyways. It's not like I bought it
Absolutely.
for 50-cent pieces to turn it next week. That doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah, buy what's not loved. That's what I always say.
buy ugly silver. I have no problem buying ugly silver because it's still silver. Silver,
Yes,
silver.
sir. At the end of the day, whoever you sell it to in the future is either going to buy it to stack it, or they're going to buy it to sell it to the smelter or the wholesaler. So
Yeah.
that's what it's going to come down to at the end of the day.
See,
What's
Gary,
it?
that's a good. I'm sorry, I don't want to. I just want to pop on chat really quick. They've been going kind of crazy, and we've been ignoring them a little bit, and I'm sorry about that, you guys. Um, 3D Woodworks never shares to hurt, shares some love and kindness. That is 100% accurate. Um,
Absolutely.
Donna, I love that shirt. That's awesome. Yes, 3D. I've been carrying that piece in my pocket for about 2 years. That has been one of my two pieces. I used to carry two, and if you watch one of my videos, I go down and I meet the Gold Baron. And when I went down there and I met him, I pulled out a piece, and he actually had some gold that he gave me right here. And then I traded him an ounce of silver, and he took my prospector round, which was one of my other second pieces. Um, let's see here. Fractional
Yeah.
gold. I prefer fractional gold, Goomba Gary, and I do. I don't have any platinum really to speak of, but I do have fractional gold. And what you buy every month is awesome. 1 gram or 2 grams of gold every month, and as much silver as you can afford. That's a great stacking goal because at the end of the day, we're trying to get to the gold anyways, right? I don't know about you, bro, but that's what my goal is to trade it in for gold at one point.
I think it would be a lot easier to carry as I get older to
That's
do
what
let's call it 1 ounce of gold versus whether it be 8 ounces of silver or 80. I think 1 ounce of gold is going to be a little easier to carry.
Yeah, that is for sure. That is for sure. Not that I'm gonna have to up and run, but yeah, my fractional gold will fit in my pocket opposed to my safe, which will not.
Right. Oh, speaking of cash earlier, I pulled a little bit of cash out earlier today at the grocery store. I just try to do that low key on the, $20 here, $20 there. Just if I have anything in the bank, if I was gonna spend it on some junk food or whatever, I try to put it in cash and then turn that into my silver fund later. But I can't spend this one. We got a freaking star note.
Yeah, our note 20 that you can't spend. Hey, you know what? That's cool. That's a lower number too because it starts with a zero. That's cool, and it's a star note.
Yeah, 27, 17A. I have no idea if this is like a special number or anything. If I see a star note, I just pick them up and throw them in the safe. I keep them right next to my gold backs. So they're all just staying in there, stacking. If this turns into $40 one day, cool, so be it. If not, then it's still just $20. It's fine.
Yeah, I gave away all my gold backs the other night.
All of them? That was all of them?
That was all the ones I have. I mean, and they were just gifts and things that I acquired. I never bought any of them really. So
Nice.
yeah, nothing major. But yeah, I gave away all my gold backs the other night.
It's paying it forward. I love it.
Yeah, uh, somebody got like a one gold bag, two halves, and a half ounce of silver at the end of the night. So that was a pretty
Oh,
fun
yeah.
trade.
That was a very fun stream. Yeah, a very high energy that night.
Yeah,
That was
oh
very
yeah,
fun.
yeah, I loved it. It was pretty fun. I had a good time.
I wonder if I can shove this saying in here. Remember, I was telling you I can make my one or two of my bars peen. Let's
Yeah,
see if I can get the damn thing to peen for you. And this, mind you, this isn't 3 9s fine. This is 925. Let's see. Let's see if I can get it to do it a little bit. I think the pocket peener's not in the right spot. I'm going to do it on my finger. This is one I poured right here.
okay,
Just a little bit. Can you guys hear that?
a little bit. Yeah, a
Yeah,
little
it's still
bit.
pains. It's amazing to me. I accidentally peened my bars, just clinking these two together or whatever, moving from point A to point B. And I heard it. I was like, no way. Do bars peen?
Yeah,
And
that's
that's how I found out.
I pinged that silver bull bar the other night.
Yes, you did. That had a beautiful ream to it.
Yeah,
That one's a little higher pitch. Hexagon. Got the honeybees. Speaking of my pours, I plan on pouring tomorrow night. I'm finally going to get back into pouring. I got my shop all cleaned out. I got my new furnace in the mail. It's still sitting brand new in the box. I got to pull it out, and then tomorrow night I should be all greenlit, short of a hurricane. I should finally get back to pouring, getting back into what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to be pouring, well, that's going to be a surprise for all of us tomorrow. I haven't decided yet, but I think I have a good idea what I'm going to pour tomorrow.
nice, nice. What time are you gonna do it?
So for the longest time, for over a year, I just kept it at about 8:30, 9 p.m. Mountain Time every Sunday. So I'll probably be between 8 and 9 Mountain Time, somewhere in there. That's usually when I start. And the reason I do it so late, sorry everybody, like tonight, I work nights. So here I am. This would be about what time is it? It's about 11. So yeah, this would be my lunchtime typically right now. So take the AM and the PM and just flip it. And that's my life.
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
No,
it is what
I
it
love the
is.
fact that you're back in the shop though, and so does 3D Woodworks.
I am
I mean,
so happy, dude. Like I I just can't express how debilitating it was after breaking my leg early last year. It was at February of 2025. I broke my leg. I was off my feet. I was I'm pretty much completely off my feet for about 3 months straight. I was in a straight brace. I wasn't doing anything. You guys saw me working on the Plymouth videos. That was for me. That was kind of part of my therapy. It was to get me off my ass and slowly doing stuff because I can focus on the car and do that stuff and not focus on the pain in my leg. Trust me, there was lots of ibuprofen going on during those videos, but
Yeah.
I that was part of my therapy doing that. I know it was a sabbatical for the content in my channel, but I hope you guys enjoy. I got the 69 Plymouth Fury 383 big block on there. That's in the garage right now, which sucks because where I live, you only get to drive it 6 months out of the year. So right now it's parked with the car cover on it in the garage.
No, that's cool. I watched those videos. It was cool watching you build it or work on it, and if that was part of your therapy, then even cooler because you got content out of it, and you're able to focus on what you needed to. So that's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. So because of that, I was not. You got to be able to jump out of the way if there's molten metal flying at you or whatever, and I wasn't going to do that with my legs. I wasn't able to be in the shop for a while. And there's still times like my leg's about ready to go out underneath me, don't get me wrong, but nothing like a year ago or a little less than a year ago, which sucks because right before the accident, man, I was doing so good. I was losing weight. I was working my butt off. I was doing great. And there you go. I broke my leg and then stopped everything. Just put my life on hold and helped me reassess everything, figure out what's important in life. And I recommend that for everybody to do that. And that's part of what New Year's is. I don't know if anybody saw the video I posted recently. There's New Year's resolutions, refocus your goals. Goals are extremely important because if you don't know where you're going, if you don't have a destination, how are you going to get there? You know what I mean?
Yes,
Draw yourself a roadmap, use dollar cost averaging, and that'll be a great way to do your financial goals. There's other goals you can do too. I mean, you can have a baby, you can stack cash, you can stack money, you can try to buy your first home, you can try to get a car, try to get your car running right. I don't know. There's all sorts of goals you can make, but make that your goal and figure out how to get there throughout the course of the year. So
for sure.
that's my advice to anybody. If you're gonna try to be stacking and saving, start off with the plan. Have the goal, figure the plan out. Because if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there?
True. And then executing. Discipline, like you mentioned before, very important when you're a stacker. Because I can tell you many reasons in many ways I can spend $75 instead of on a piece of silver. But I still do it because I have to build, I have to be disciplined. I have to make sure that I put away what I need to get it
Absolutely.
for in the bank for my safe because I am my own bank.
Be your own bank. That's the best advice I've heard out there yet. Yeah, commenting on the chat there, 3D Woodworks. Yes, I think I will before the show tomorrow night. I will prearrange one of my Delft clays, two pours for the Delft, and see if I can get a couple more of the chess pieces going. I have 11 of the pieces poured, one of them finished. I still got to do some finishing work and cut the sprues and off of them and all that stuff on the other 10. But what are there, 32 pieces to a chess set? Is that right? Am I
Yeah,
way off? Yeah, 32. I got 11 of them poured. I got a ways to go before I could finish that. So this is going to be a 2-year project for me. If I didn't break my leg, I would have got it done. Sorry. It's going to be a multi-year project here. So I'm really looking forward to finishing that Fallout themed chess set. And I talked to my artist, and she's out of school now. She graduated. Mazel tov, congratulations. And so she'll be able to actually sit down and do the board. And I have a lot of ideas how to do it. No spoilers yet. You guys are going to have to wait to see that. It's going to be epic. But
that's cool.
once we get, she'll do the board part, or at least the artwork on it. I'll put the rest of it together, and then obviously the chess pieces themselves will be in copper. We'll probably end up doing that on an auction. I'll probably auction that sucker off with like a minimum bid on it, if you will. I'll come to that conclusion what it's going to be closer to the time of the auction. So don't ask me numbers yet, but we'll auction that off, and if it does well, and I meet and exceed my goals there, I'll probably do one in 925 sterling.
Nice.
So
That would be
that's
awesome.
one of the goals. And another piece of work I'm also planning on doing. You guys haven't seen here and there with me throwing my hands in there. I have my copper bracelet. This one's big and chunky, kind of like me, right? But yeah, the this one is, I believe, 3.3 ounces of copper little bracer slash bracelet. I wear it every day. There was a time I didn't wear it for a while, but I've been wearing it every day for months now. So I forgot why I stopped wearing it. I put it on. I just never took it off. I freaking love this thing, and it's not like your typical copper like bracelets you see out there at like at the the roadsides and all that stuff. They got magnets in them and all that stuff. They're super bendy and stuff. My finishing work with the hammer, I finish them off and I don't anneal them at the end, so they're pretty hard. They're resistant to scratching. Pretty hardcore. I dare I say it might even try to stop a bullet, like
Nice.
the Wonder Woman cuffs here. But I have a few. I have a few of these on back order. I plan on making soon, and I'm going to pour some sterling ingots, just like I did with the copper, to make these, and I'll be cutting those down and making those into copper into sterling bracelets. So that'll be another product that'll be available through the Broke Stackers channel here.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah, I
pretty
have.
cool.
I've been making so many plans, man. When I was sitting on that couch, I was going freaking crazy, not being able to execute them. So
No, that's awesome. I wear a bracelet from Nikki Stacker. It says Silver Stacker on it. So I wear that bracelet every day. And one thing I wear every day for sure since the day I got it was this silver ring that was made out of a walker, and that was made by 3D Woodworks.
beautiful. I need to get one of those, man. 3D makes some really nice works.
He
Yes,
does.
yes. 3D, we're stroking your ego. You are a fantastic rainmaker, my friend.
He is. And so I have this one. It's a 46. You can see the date on the inside. It also says the United States of America on it. And on one side it says half dollar, and on the other side it has her head. And I wear that thing every day since the day.
Beautiful. Sorry, I was trying to see if I could one screen it to you to zoom it in there, but
Oh, I saw
I
it.
don't. I am not good at doing the technical stuff. I need to do some more practice on these live streams. Actually, now that you mention it, Humble, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think you're the first guest I've had on my show. I've been on a lot of other shows, but I think you're the first one on my show on the Broke Stacker channel.
That's
So,
all.
congratulations, Mazel Tov.
Thanks, man.
and
Thanks.
and I
I'm honored, actually. I've always loved your channel. I've been a member for a long time, and yeah, I love your content. You told me I was an honorary member of the Broke Army when I first started months ago, and almost a year ago actually. And I'm honored. Thank you, thank you. First
oh,
one
thank you.
ever.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah, great minds think alike, and birds of a feather flock together. Am I right?
Yeah, that's for sure. And when you actually asked to do something with me, I was totally stoked. Just the fact, because honestly, who am I? I got a very small channel. I don't really have much of a voice, I don't think. And it was kind of ironic that you and a couple of other people, hit me up at the same time almost. So it was more of an ego blow, like, just more of a shock than anything else that you even asked to do something. And again, honored. I love the fact that you thought about me wanting to do something with you, and I couldn't imagine a better pairing when it comes to just two people on a channel. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend.
Ping, ping.
Ping. Is it ping time? Does that deserve a ping? Here,
Oh,
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do an eagle. Let's just do an eagle. We haven't done an eagle yet tonight. Let's get the old. This is a one and only for me. I have a 1986 eagle here. Let's see if this sucker still has a voice to it.
go for it. Nice.
Nice. You gotta love those Eagles. Oh yeah, I love that, man. That's the freaking Liberty Bell right there. I love it.
This thing pings really nice.
There you go, 3D Woodworks. You're gonna have to pound out one of these 10-ounce bars into a freaking bell now.
Yeah,
Now
that was sick.
that would be interesting. You can figure out how to do that and make it work. I'm all ears. I want to watch that. I know, and I want to watch it twice because that sounds like some good content right there.
Actually, you know what? I bet he could 3D print the bell
Hmm.
and then do a sand pour.
Now you're talking. Now, do we do it in 925 or do we do it in 3/9? That's a good question. What's going to have better resonance?
I think. Well, I don't know. Do you got a 925 handy?
I have a 90, and I have my other pours.
I have a
But as
92, but
far
man, 949 rings pretty nice.
sure does. This is the Eagle. I don't think they're 4/9s, but yours is 4/9s, right? That bar.
Yes, or that's
Nice.
3/9 at least. Let me see here. It's 3/9.
Nice. I'm telling you, man, that might be. Yeah, screw it. 3D. I'm sorry. You have to do two now. You have to do three bells now. You have to do a 90%, a 925, and a 3/9 spine bell. It'll be a whole series. And trust me, if you make those videos, I will be tuning in, my friend.
This thing just pings so nice.
They really are. That is a fantastic sound, and you know what? I have half a mind to try doing one myself, but I don't even know how to start. I got some Delft clay and all that, but as far as doing a bell, that would most certainly be a challenge.
I think
But
the challenge
I'm
would
open
be
to it.
because having the silver cools off so fast and it wouldn't really pour very easily to fill. I mean, it depends on the size of the bell, right? If you're doing
Right.
a 1 ounce or a 2 ounce bell is a whole lot different than doing a 10 ounce bell. You
Yeah,
know,
the larger pours like that, I would think it would be much more critical to preheat your Delft clay or your sand, so you don't lose temperature so fast and have, like you're saying, some voids. So that
yeah,
would be something. No, you could preheat it to like let's say 160 or so. Throw it in like your easy bake oven, whatever you want to call it, and then pull it out right before you pour. Then pour that sucker. It's a good possibility. Now, when I start getting into some larger pours, I might have to give that a go.
you'd almost think that copper would be a better pour for the larger ones because it holds the heat for so much longer and will still carry where it needs to. But
Right.
copper doesn't ping like silver does. That's for sure.
I'll tell you what. I got a copper round here. Let's see what does she do. 3/9 fine copper round. You know, I don't think I've ever bothered to peen one of these. Well, let's take a look. You guys
I've
ready?
actually never bothered to ping one either.
Let's take a look. A really high pitch almost sounds like steel to me. It definitely works, but copper, or I'm sorry, silver is where it's going to be at on a bell, I think. But yeah, that sounds like an interesting proclamation there. Proclamation. Nice. Oh man, now you're really talking a golden bell. Oh dear.
Oh,
Put your money where your mouth is.
that would be sick. The golden bell. Wow.
That would be different. That would be very costly too. I imagine any bell would be a minimum 2 ounces.
A decent one? Yeah, right? You'd think.
But have you seen a 2026 $2 bill yet, Ethan? 3D Woodworks. Yeah, I have not. Is it different from the previous $2 bills? I'm curious. And speaking of 2026 currency and for coinage, there's a lot of interesting things coming out from the U.S. Mint this year. So keep an eye out for that, everybody. I'm going to be buying this shit by the tube, man. I'm telling you. I'm gonna get everything I can possibly afford. One for the possibility to resell, one for just stacking away forever, and then yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. Hopefully, I can with the second one I buy, recover the cost for both, and just basically have a free asset. That would be the goal for me, anyways.
Yeah, yeah, that would so that for me would be a solid goal as well. You know, 125 at the prices right now is a stretch. I was paying $29 at the beginning of the year, and I set a 250 goal, and I met it, but I can't say it wasn't hard. So now the price being double that and then some more, it's going to be that much more challenging, especially as it starts, because it's only going to go up from here, in my opinion. So
Absolutely.
yeah, stacking goals this year, just be, don't be super modest, but don't be overzealous like I was when I set it for 250, knowing that spot was $72 an ounce to start the year. So just be reasonable with your goals, set attainable goals, but set them so they're hard to do as well, because you don't grow if you keep doing the same thing and it's super easy.
Exactly. It has to be a challenge. Challenge yourself.
Yes.
And I'm glad you touched on spot price. Any predictions for the year 2026?
For the end of year,
Sure.
oh,
For gold, silver, whatever, what have you.
we'll be in the hundreds for silver. I believe we'll be in triple digits. I think we'll touch it a couple of times throughout the year and then end it with at least it. If it doesn't just bull run for a while, because they're and so China not exporting silver unless they release their grip hold on that in particularly, and based on what they're doing it for, it doesn't look like they're going to. So now think about it. We need silver, right? So who do we go get silver from if China's not going to sell it to us? We go to India, who will probably be the best person to get it from, because we can't go to Mexico because we pissed them off by telling everybody they're going to pay for a wall that we built that that wasn't even going to happen. We could get silver from Canada if we didn't try to absorb them and tell them they're going to be our 51st state. So who do we get silver from at this point, other than ourselves, which is going to drive the cost up because we don't have as much silver as others do when it comes to mines, or that are ready to mine at this point, like all the other ones that are already kicked on and going. So where do we get it from?
Yeah, anything stateside, it's going to be a kind of a crapshoot as far as these mining stocks and junior mining stocks go for stateside here. The way that these, because there's so many of them now. There's so many of these different mining companies and junior mining stocks. The way I'm looking at it is look at America 100 years ago with the automotive companies that came out. Yeah, GM, Chrysler, Cadillac, all these different guys came coming out. And over the course of many years, there was like 100 of them. There was 100 different automotive manufacturers in the United States at one point, or whatever, or throughout the years. So, but how many of those survived? You need to start looking at these mining stocks and these mining companies, all that stuff, as to which ones are going to be the survivors. Do your research, do your due diligence, and figure out what's going to sound best to you. Who is going to be the most stable bang for your buck, and who's going to have steady growth versus a one and done.
Yeah, well, you keep in mind the strongest ones are the strongest ones for a reason. Look at
Precisely.
their track records and things like that. But please do your own due diligence. Don't just get stuffed into something thinking that's right, or pull the trigger on something without asking somebody or two people or maybe even three people that are in the financial world what they think about that stock, or people in that industry itself. There's a lot of information to read about stocks and bonds, so don't go into it blind thinking that you can do it. And I was talking to my coworker the other day, and he's talking about putting silver shorts out and this and that. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I mean, I understand what you're trying to do. You know, you're trying to capitalize on silver in a very, very short period of time, you know, by selling shorts and this and that and buying options and stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, can you really afford to do that? So he did it, made a few dollars, not a lot, but made a few dollars. But the risk of when he could have done it and not done it was so great at the time because that was when we went from 83 down to 72.
Oh yeah, the risk versus reward. You always have to look into that too. Don't anything to do with the stock market. It's a big freaking casino. I'm sorry, but it is. There's guys that put money in. There's guys that pull money out. Somebody's left holding the bags. That's how the stock market works, in my opinion. It's a freaking casino. Don't put in what you're not willing to lose. That's what I say.
Oh, for sure. And I'm not into crypto, but crypto is the same exact way. You know, if you buy in at $85,000 and then somebody sells however many, you know, bitcoins and gets rid of them, then the price drops and you're held at the highest point waiting for it to bounce back just to even break even. So it's a gamble as well. Everything's a gamble except for owning it, you know, and you don't own it unless you hold it, right?
That's right. Yeah, the papers. What do they sell the same piece of silver on paper 200 times over? Again, someone's going to be holding the bags.
Yes. So you don't own it unless you hold it. That's why I stack physical. I don't play anything in the market. There are some mining stocks that I would invest in and looked into, you know, and I think nickel is going to do pretty good this year coming up as well. And there's some nickel mining stocks that I was looking into in Canada. Shares were like 15 cents a share. You know, at that point, what's dropping $500 and getting a max amount of shares? Because listen, you're still losing. You know, you either lose or you don't, right? So if you buy in at a super low amount and get a lot of shares and something booms, I mean, you could make big. You know, fortune does favor the bold. You know,
That's
so
right. Yeah. Again, like you're saying, risk versus reward. If it's 15 cents a penny stock or whatever, you put 500 into it. I mean, you can blow that nowadays just on a barbecue. Let's be honest. Some
yeah,
barbecue and a fireworks and some beer and and a whole lot of meat
and you're
for
past $500 at that point, depending on what you're
exactly,
doing. You know, so
exactly.
think about what you can actually try to do, and you can afford way more than you think you can. That's why my stack grew to what it did this last year because I just found that if I cut some here and trimmed a little there, and you know, didn't eat as much as I was eating before, so lost a little bit of weight as well. You know, so there's a few different things that helped me create my stack, and very proud of my stack because this stack actually has gold. My first two didn't. You know, they were all
Nice.
silver based. So
Poor
very.
man's gold.
That's why I'm showing it off. I'm showing off what I accomplished because I'm very proud of it.
Absolutely, man. The only thing I got this gold on my table here is some fake stuff. I thought this one was kind of interesting. I picked it up at a gas station the other day. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like a little commemorative
That is
freaking
cool.
item. Yeah, I was like, well, I probably paid way too much for this, but at least it signifies a moment in my life when I made a big change. So that's why it's important to me. But yeah,
That
I'm gonna go back and adjust and address the chat here. Ethan Melton says 250 year anniversary is huge. It is. Bear is saying, have you seen the new dimes yet? No, I have not. It says artwork is amazing.
it is.
3D Woodworks throwing in his predictions on silver for 2026. He's saying end of year November 2026. He's thinking $128 silver. I'll come back on touch on that here in just a second. There's 3D. Ethan, I got gold. He's predicting gold at 555.55 and silver 1111 or a 111. Very cool. We can get silver from Venezuela.
Yeah,
3D,
and
too soon, too soon.
yeah, yeah, I'm sold on that one. That's for sure. I think that the more lucrative commodity there would be the oil.
Oh, absolutely. The things that make the gears run in this country and pretty much the whole world is oil. I
Yeah.
mean, the stuff that you get delivered to your grocery store, your Target, whatever, what have you, it took diesel fuel to get it there from the truck. It took diesel fuel to get it there from the train, from the shipping yard. It was diesel, diesel, diesel. The petroleum, the world runs on petroleum, whether you want to admit it or not.
Oh yeah. Well, the petroleum is needed to burn the generators that are needed to give your EV the car that it generates and uses to run. So that's
Absolutely.
what I don't understand with this whole EV boom. We have to burn fossil fuels to get to the electricity, and then we're using that electricity to run on cars. Well, why don't we just? I mean, and I get it, pollution and things like that, but we're still burning the oil anyways. So
Oh yeah. Being a guy working in the industry for many many years, I've worked on several different kinds of power plants. On a majority of them will absolutely use natural gas. Even the cogen power plants, you have the old coal burners that were doing 50 megawatts. Well, they converted them over to biomass, basically wood. You take old junk wood and burn that and get about 35 megawatts out of it. So you don't get as much as coal, but it's a renewable resource. But at the same time, it's still using natural gas. So you have that. You have gas turbine power plants as well. Maybe to go back to the cogen though, actually make more sense. So they burn in the boiler. They burn either coal, natural gas, biomass, whatever, what have you. That generates steam in the boiler, turns a steam turbine, and the steam turbine is what you're getting power from. And then you have the
it's
gas
basically
turbines,
just a big generator, or
pretty
like
much, pretty much,
like an alternator.
pretty much. But it's driven by steam with a big old turbine. It's a finicky thing, but it does work. I mean, they use the same steam generator in your cogens, the same steam generator on what is it? The geysers. What are those damn things called? The hydro, not hydro. Hydropower is a little bit different. And it uses turbines too, but it's not using heat. The other ones, steam power out of the earth. What's that called? Geothermal. They use
Geo.
the same steam generator on the geothermal as they do as the what you call it. I was just touching on it. The gas turbines. And was it 2012? I built a 600 megawatt power plant. It had two natural gas turbines that they recovered the heat with the HER6 there. So basically two boilers. So the burn you were using already from the natural gas, you were just recovering that heat to a boiler, even though the gas turbine was turning a 200 megawatt turbine. Two of those, there's 400 there, but you're recovering all that heat, turning boilers, turning steam, and you get a free burn of gas going over to another gas turbine. It's another 200 megawatt turbine. So you got 600 megawatt plant for the cost of a 400, and you're getting the same stuff. It was actually a pretty interesting design. So I got to work on those. I got to work on a little bit of NQA1 stuff. I don't feel comfortable talking about those right now, but yeah, the nuclear side of things, there's that too. But at the end of the day, they all run the same shit. It's just a steam turbine. That's what's really giving you power,
Yes,
or
it's just
or a hydro.
energy to run the steam turbine.
Precisely, yeah. So they all kind of basically start with the exception of the nuclear. They all start with the petroleum, the natural gas. So it's very very interesting. I've had a very colorful career for the last 20 years, and I've seen a lot of different things on the way things are done. And I like to know how things work. So I'm not just looking at ooh ah or this is just another job. I'm looking at how I could build one of these damn things. So I've
Oh,
always
for
found it
sure.
kind of fascinating.
Well, nuclear is pretty clean, is it not?
Yes. So the standards at which they handle the material are above and beyond the safest you can do in the world on anything. Like, I mean, the steel casks they use to transport the spent fuel rods and all that, even you can drop them out of a damn plane and they'll be fine. So the level of safety that goes into this stuff is unbelievable. It's unfortunate that we had to learn from past mistakes like 3 Mile Island, and then you had Chernobyl. Everybody remembers
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
It's
So
Chernobyl that scares everybody, and I think that's the problem. Is Chernobyl actually made it so people are afraid of nuclear energy at that point. But keep in mind, the guys in Chernobyl were warned and told that their stuff was unsafe, and they kept going. And
oh
that's
yeah.
one of the reasons why Chernobyl happened the way that it did. If they would have heeded the warning and or followed the standards that we follow now, then that wouldn't have even happened.
Well, it wasn't just necessarily that, but look at the culture at the time and where it happened. It was the freaking USSR. They were afraid of retaliation from their higher up, so it was one of those like, I have to do this or I'm going to be in the freaking gulag for the next 10 years. It was a
True.
society ran by fear, really. And, Big Brother's watching you. Quite a Orwellian freaking dystopia, if you ask me.
True. Yeah. I mean, well, think about the times, of course, right? I mean, coming out of just the area itself, you had major dictators that in through those times, you got Hitler, you got Joseph Stalin coming out of Russia, and Russia just was rough for a really long time, right? Especially during the Cold War as well. Worried about all that stuff. I mean, it's
Oh yeah, the beginning of the end of the USSR and the coming down of the Berlin Wall was actually probably because of breaking the whole Chernobyl incident
yeah,
and hindsight of everything. It dissolved the trust in their government to the point where it dissolved itself, and now you have whatever it is today, which it doesn't sound like it's much better, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I have never been, so I just I've seen things. I've read documentaries. I've watched documentaries. I've I just know pretty
just
much.
seeing the live footage that you can see is enough for me to understand the what they live in. Just the kind of tyranny that it can be sometimes. And
Absolutely. You always got to look over your shoulder. You don't know who's watching you. You don't
yeah,
know if somebody's going to kick in your door any night and just basically take you for everything you got. And then you freaking, like I said, working in the gulag until you die. So it's like,
and
nah,
there's other countries that are like that too. So I'm just glad that we live in the one that we do, which gives us the freedoms that it does.
absolutely.
Freedom to stack this and not have to worry about, or stack this. How about this? Being able to stack this and not have to worry about claiming it to my king, like in they have to do
Yeah.
in the UK.
Don't get me started on that. Did you break it down for every dollar that we spend with our taxes and all that? We're probably getting ripped off for 50%,
Oh yeah, we're
50
still
cents on every
getting away
dollar.
with that.
Yeah, when you get taxed on the money before you see it, you get taxed on the money at the end of the year, you get taxed on it when you spend it, you get taxed on the money that you get back from getting taxed on the money of the next year, and then when you die, you get a death tax too. It's ridiculous, but yeah, don't get me started on that. But if you go to the UK, you break it all down. I don't think they're even saving at least that much. I think they're probably getting took over from closer to 80 or 90%. They got a damn television tax. Are you kidding me here? What the hell is a television tax? You mean when you buy it? No, just to have it in your house. Like, excuse me? Get out of
Yeah,
here. You don't belong in my house. They're saying that what by enforcing a law like that, they're saying the government belongs in your home. No, thank you.
yeah, no, I'm good.
That as a president, I hope never comes to fruition in this country.
Well, you know, it's not necessarily completely too far fetched considering the situations and the condition of where we're at now.
Right. Yeah. The fact that we don't have real free market capitalism. It's a series of monopolies on a lot of things, and I wish we can get back to a true free market capitalism, because that's when this country did its best. That's when we were at our best, and that's, I think, if we end up ultimately going forward, we're gonna have to go backwards to that in order to have the best.
True, true. I actually want to comment on Bear. Bear, yes, they did just start a 10.3% tax on gold and silver here in Washington, and it sucks as a stacker as well. But we pay that tax on everything else. Just now, it shouldn't be on our metals, anyways. That's the problem with our state. We're like, we're trying to blaze our own path to generate more funds for ourselves, and unfortunately, they're taxing their city, their state patrons with that. So, my workaround, that Uncle Sam listening, is have my stuff sent to my sister who lives in Oregon, and then I'll pay for a flat rate and have her send it all to me in one shot, and I'll save money hand over fist doing it that way. So
So
that's
you're
what my
saying your sister is the one that had the boating accident?
yes. Actually, yeah, it was really unfortunate too, because she thought she was able to go out in this blow up raft, and I told her not to do it, but she piled all these metals in thinking she could do it, and lo and behold, popped a hole in it and sunk it all to the bottom. It was horrible.
Yeah, she was using the metal as a boat anchor, but the rope gave way. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, she just lost it. And unfortunately, those metals aren't magnetic, so she tried to drag the lake and she couldn't find it.
That's right. I know. I'm pretty sure. So I left and I came back the next day and it was just gone. Can't find it.
It was just gone.
That's right. It
I
happens.
don't know what
Let me go
happened. I
back
was
in the chat here. I just want to make sure I caught everybody in the chat here. I just got some old gold, 1857 SS Central America, California Rush, 1.5 gram pinch gold dust PCGS certified. That is a run-on sentence, I think. I think you just got a lot of gold there. Congratulations. Keep stacking, my friend. That's Ethan Milton there.
I've seen
Rakamash, you're
those,
doing
Ethan.
great. What's
I've
that?
I've seen those. It's it looks like this. It's flour gold. They call it a pinch of gold or an extra large pinch of gold. There's two of them, and you either get like a half gram of flour gold like this, or you get like a gram and a half of flour gold. So good score, bro. It's nice. The thing about placer gold like this is it's only about 16, 14 to 18 karat. You normally fall about 16 karat on that.
Interesting. I did not know that. I was always curious about the quality of the gold you get, but I guess it's dependent on where you're actually panning, mining, and all that from. It's your pay dirt is going to be different everywhere you go, geologically speaking.
Yeah, and you can actually make it. You can refine it. I mean, you can actually melt it, put borax in there, pull the impurities out other than the gold and the silver, and then you can take whatever little nugget you have left, send it off to a place that will actually separate the two and pay you for both. So it's a process, but it's worth it if you have enough.
Right. Yeah, 3D's on there. Like they need more money for golfing and limousine rides.
For sure, right? Yeah, our governor is kind of an idiot, honestly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, I haven't really seen too many good governors yet. I mean, you got the whole Somalian freaking daycare thing hot in the news right now to the tune of $8 billion of money laundering. So I
Uh,
wonder where that all went.
well, yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. The ones that had like fake parents showing up and getting paid out envelopes and stuff. They caught them on camera.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of stuff coming to light right now, and I hope all those criminals that are in illicit, fraudulent activity get what's coming to them.
Yeah,
But
I
who am I to say? Who am I to judge?
yeah, yeah. We're just a couple of guys talking about metals and what we have to live through because of fearless leaders that we vote into office because we have uneducated people voting when they should not be. I think
Absolutely. And people that aren't even citizens voting, that's my big gripe about that.
I think
It's
in
not
order to vote, you should have to pass a Q&A. I think there should be a 20 question quiz. And if you don't pass it as an 80%, you shouldn't be able to vote.
yeah, half
You
these guys are going, what's the answer to name?
you should have to be able to you should be able to have to speak to what you're voting about, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yes. Who's the Democratic Party? Who's the Republican Party? Who's the third party? If you can't even answer those three questions and the criteria in which you're voting on, maybe you shouldn't be voting.
Yes. I just there's a few things that I think we should change as a society. I think that after a certain age, and that being 60, that you should have your eyes checked every year before you get your driver's license renewed. I think that there's multiple things that we let skate because we want to let people have their freedoms, but um, accidents are caused by people who shouldn't be driving. People can't make their own decisions at a certain point, and we're too afraid to bring it to attention. You know, People are making decisions that shouldn't be making decisions, like very uneducated people who have the ability to vote. I get that, but if you don't know what you're voting about, then why are you voting in the first place? You know,
Precisely. How can you have a critical thinking if you don't know all the information?
yeah, just because I give you a voice doesn't mean you should be able to. I mean, it does. I get it. So let me back up a little bit there. Just because you have a voice, not that I gave you one, but just because you have a voice doesn't mean that everybody needs to hear it, especially if
Precisely.
it's uneducated. In my opinion,
Precisely. It's fact versus opinion.
yeah,
What's omit opinion from facts, and at least at first, and then you can construct your own opinion after you hear the facts.
yeah. Well, you have to be able to hear the facts, and if you can't hear the facts and process them, you can hear them all day long, but if you can't process what you're hearing, get out of my face and let me talk to somebody who is a little more intelligent. Yeah, give me 10 more points on the IQ level, and we'll go from there. I want 10 more points.
Yeah, that would be delightful, wouldn't it?
And I
But yeah,
know, being in the construction industry, you've probably dealt with people that I'm probably referring to in a lot of cases because you come across all walks of life in every
oh yeah,
industry.
oh yeah. 1 in 4, 1 in 4 is what I like to tell the wife. 1 in 4. That's
One,
1 in 4 is below average intelligence on your IQ test. Two are average, and one's above, or genius level, if you will. So what? Yeah, 1 in 4 is below.
yeah, isn't that sad?
It's
You know,
unfortunate. So
that's
yeah,
pretty.
that's there's I could go on about that, but I'm gonna shut my mouth now before anybody gets hurt feelings.
Yeah, we should probably go on a rant for a minute there. So let's change
Yes,
gears.
sir. It's a bit of a tangent. So right now, what are your favorite coins to stack?
My favorite coins to stack right now will be constitutional because of the cost.
Absolutely.
I
That's
do
kind of
like,
what I've been going heavy on with lately.
yeah, but I do like pretty coins too, right? So here, I bought these at Mill. I didn't pay a little behind, but I bought them at Mill. And they're frost.
Nice.
You know, they're frosty.
That is a proof, might I add, that you probably shouldn't handle a proof without gloves.
No, I get it, but they were. This is what I ping. This is what
Okay.
I ping all the time. And
Okay.
look, I got them. They all came in the same bag. They were jingling around. They weren't bagged separately or anything else like that. I bought them at Spot. They're going to go in a tube eventually. They're just out on my table because they're pretty.
Okay.
You
Very
know,
cool. Yeah, I mean, it's yours. Do what you want with it. And if you love it, play with it.
yeah. I mean, look, it's mine. It took me a lot to earn this. This was an hour's worth of work for me to get this. So, let me enjoy
Okay.
it while I can.
Absolutely. Yeah, this. This was my one pretty for the year. Other than that, I was very disciplined all year with the bullion pieces, even though they're not pretty. But I mean, you might disagree with that. You said you like toners.
Oh, I do. I
Yeah, you
do.
got that one. You got that one's got some nice toning on it.
Yes, it does.
I don't know if that was accidental or not because it's on one side. I bet it was in a coin flip or whatever. Sorry, I'm having troubles with my with that mirror again. I'll have to correct that next time we do this.
You're
Speaking
good.
of which, I think we're gonna have to do this about once a month on Saturdays. Is that all right with you?
I'm fine with that. That works.
I think that's gonna work best for me because the way they got me on my schedules right now, typically it's 60, 60, 50. So it's like every third Saturday I'd be available, but I should be able to get squeeze out at least one Saturday a month.
That is more than fine because I got the Metal Mob on Sundays as well, and Saturday night actually worked out pretty good. So once a month, I'm down with. That's plenty frequent for me. Toners. I have a 63 Morgan that's toned on one side and silver on the other.
Really
Yes, yes.
interesting.
I have quite
Gotta
a few.
love the Morgans.
Quite a few, and that one right there is my pride right there.
What was the coin again? I thought I heard you say Morgan, but 63 wouldn't be right. What is it again?
No, so my favorite coin to stack would be constitutional,
Uh huh.
but I like walkers.
That's honestly that's where I started heavy. My very first tube I completed was a tube of Walkers. So that's
And
where I
I can
started.
cherry pick my LCS. So why
Oh
not
yeah.
take advantage of it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I will say that if you're just starting out stacking or you're looking for gifts to put in stocking stuffers, even, 50 cent, half dollars, not 50 cents, sorry, we have half dollars and quarter dollars in this country. Half dollars are an excellent stacking stuffer, great gifts. Great, it might just be that one little thing that you needed to kick someone in the ass to get them started stacking. Gift it to them because after you feel that first ounce of silver or whatever 10 ounce of silver in your hand, you'll get hooked and you won't go back.
My 11-year-old earns silver dimes when she does chores.
That's awesome. That you know what? We're thinking about expanding the family over here soon, and when we do, I think that's a excellent idea. A dime, a quarter, a half dollar. That's an excellent idea for instead of doing the cash thing. My mom with me when I was a kid, she made me earn it. Everything I got, she made me earn. I had to mow the lawns. I had to do all my chores and all that. But every time I did it, she did the reward thing, so it bestilled a nice work ethic in me. Go, mom! She did great by me, and yeah, I plan on continuing the tradition there, but maybe I'll do a little bit of this accompanied with a little bit of this. And so it's like short in the short, get your piece of candy, go get your soda pop, whatever you want to get, but also something to look forward to in the future.
Yes, no, that's always a plus. It's like when you have a teenager, who I do. When she starts working, it's going to be, you know, you put this much away, you have this much to spend, and you donate this much. It's because you have to pay it forward a little bit, especially when you're starting out, because not everybody can do it. You don't need it as much as other people could use it. So pay it forward a little bit while you can, especially if you're living under my roof or someone else's roof and they're paying for all your bills anyways. It's
Right.
to teach them a little bit of that before they actually go out into the world because we don't teach our kids enough before they actually go out in the world nowadays. In my,
Absolutely, I agree.
yeah, in my honest opinion, I have three daughters, 17, 15, and 11, all very impressionable. My 17-year-old is getting ready to start driving. She is a B plus, A minus student. She strives to do very good, and she does. And I can't be more proud of her. But if you let that get away, then you'll raise a shit kid, and they won't be an active part of society, in my opinion, and they'll just be that drain that we are raising nowadays, unfortunately. Enough
Yeah, it's
about my.
unfortunate.
I gotta shut up, dude. I gotta shut up. We
I
gotta.
tell you what, we could go on and on, right? But I think we're gonna have to wrap it up. We've been on here for an hour and 40 minutes, my friend.
Wow,
Not that I'm not having fun, but I
it's
think
flown
everybody else is. If my battery is in an indication on my phone from others, I bet everybody else's phone's about to die too.
cool. Cool. Man, I had a great time, and I look forward to doing this again. So thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. Everybody, keep an eye out for future Saturday, um, the Broken Humble shows. Please put a one in the chat if you guys enjoyed the content we covered tonight, and I have many, 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 many more subjects I'd love to cover with Humble here live on the Broken Humble uh, channel, the Broken Humble show. I apologize. Yeah,
No,
put a one in the chat if you guys are digging this. Put down in the comments after we close out the live stream what you would like to hear on the next episode.
oh yeah,
I'm
we're
serious.
completely open to subject matter, because I think that we both probably could speak to just about anything you guys bring up and have enough to occupy a full hour and a half show about it. So yeah, please give us some content that you might want to hear about, and I like seeing some ones in the chat. That's awesome.
Yes, awesome. Thank you guys. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing this again.
All right, thank you again. Stack what you
All
can
right.
where you can, you guys. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, everybody. Until next time, keep stacking, stack 'em high.